Welcome to the Get Smart with Money podcast. I'm your host, Dayna Hernandez, financial planner and author of Get Smart with Money, Break Free from the Struggle, Build Wealth on Your Terms, and Rewrite Your Money Story. Here we talk about money, entrepreneurship, growth, and resilience, because financial freedom is about more than just numbers. Each week, you'll get practical strategies, inspiring stories, and the motivation you need to stress less about money and create more freedom in your life. Let's get smart with money together. Thank you for coming back to another episode of Get Smart with Money podcast. Today we have Steven Puri. Is it Puri?
Mm-hmm.
Not Puri.
Puri's good. In a fire, I will respond to either one.
Okay. Well, Steven Puri, after being an executive at 3 film studios, raising $21 million of venture and running 3 startups, from lessons on high performance are clear. So now you say that you share tips on and techniques to help leaders and teams perform at their best.
Yeah. A lot of what may be interesting about this episode, as opposed to some of the other great ones, is I've worked with a lot of high performers both in film and in tech. There are some tips and techniques that you see along the way. There's some patterns you recognize are the ones that sustainably perform at a high level, and the ones that burn out and you're just like, I'd like to go pick apples in Oregon for the rest of my life, you know?
Okay. So I also saw that you used to work at DreamWorks and 20th Century Fox.
True.
At the same time, or what led you to...
That would be a weird conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what led you to moving around?
Oh, okay. So I was at DreamWorks with Alex Kurtz and Bob Orsi, who are writers, and they wrote like Transformers 1 and 2, Star Trek 11, Eagle Eye, Mission Impossible 3, The Island, Zorro, tons of stuff, Fringe, Hawaii Five-0, Alias.
Saw a lot of that, yeah.
Right? Awesome guys. Sci-fi, big movies, that kind of stuff. And after 4 years there, I was an executive vice president with them at DreamWorks. And I got into a strange conversation with the chairman of Fox that I thought was about a different topic, but as it turns out, it was a recruitment thing. And he said, listen, we have all this Avatar money that's coming in and would like to, level up the kind of writers we have here. We know you have great relationships with great writers at DreamWorks. If you come here, I'll double your salary. But more importantly, you probably grew up watching the Die Hard franchise. And I was like, I did. He's like, do you want to be the executive on the Die Hard franchise? You're making the next one, which should be Die Hard 5. And I was like, oh my God, really? He's like, yeah, or do you want to make the Wolverine sequel? We'll give you the Wolverine movie.
Wow.
And, some friends cautioned me about going to News Corp. They're like, it's not value aligned with who you are. And other friends were like, how could you pass up working on Die Hard, man? We grew up watching Die Hard, And I was like, okay, how bad could it be? And yeah, so I left DreamWorks. I went to Fox. And it's true. It was not value aligned, and I can't tell you, there's a movie I worked on at Fox that I'm proud of. Some movies got made, but they were the kind of movies of a certain kind of quality that made me say, I think I need to get out of film now. And a lot of my friends were in a similar situation where everyone's basically working on sequels, prequels, remakes, spin-offs. This is the remake of the spin-off of the background character from Alice in Wonderland, and you're just like,
there's too much of that.
So the White Rabbit movie, what?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. I always kind of wondered, like, the culture of that whole world, because that's a whole different world to
it really is. And
a lot of people.
DreamWorks is the last studio that's run by a filmmaker, and when I was there, it was Steven Spielberg and Stacey Snider, and to their credit, like, there was definitely an ethos of, hey, go home tonight, try and make your products 1% better, And there are movies that come out that are mediocre, that are not great. And it's not often that people try to make a bad movie. It's just really hard to make a great one. You have to have like a series of lightning strikes of like a great script, a great cast, and a great director, and the right time in the marketplace. Like, you know what I mean? So it's hard. And I give Steven and Stacey a lot of credit. Not that I have to give them credit. They're, you know, they are who they are on their own. But that was an inspiring place to work. And I can't say the same of News Corp.
Okay. That's really interesting. So how did you get into Hollywood? that's very
totally asked backwards. So my parents were both engineers at IBM. So when I was little, I knew how to code just because, you know, it was like in the family, it wasn't even like a big thing. And so I was a Watson scholar with IBM when I went to college. So they gave me money to go to college and also gave me a job. They're like, if you want to work as a junior software engineer, you can earn more money to pay for college. So I did. I went to the University of Southern California in LA.
Okay.
And while I was there studying business and journalism and stuff like that, I worked on the side and in the summers, you know, as a software engineer. Well, great way to put money in the pocket. So I happened to be, lucky break coming, I happened to be in LA when computers became powerful enough to manipulate film. And that meant you had like Avid doing non-linear editing of film. You had Pro Tools doing sound editing. You had Silicon Graphics making computers to do CG effects, right?
Wow.
And there was a demand for people who could speak engineer, because suddenly it was a very engineering heavy sort of field, but can also speak creative. And I had a lot of friends that were like in this cinema TV school. I had a creative bent myself. And I was in that very small intersection, that Venn diagram of like, I could talk to an engineer or talk to a director about what we were doing. And my career took off. I did 14 movies doing the digital effects for these movies. Everything from Braveheart to True Lies to Seven to, you know, whatever else. And it was a fascinating education for me to work with really talented people who were older than I was, but I was good at what I did. And that's how I ended up meeting Will and Emmerich and Dean Devlin. And I produced the digital effects for Independence Day. And
wow.
That was
Love
cool
that
because
movie.
we won the Academy Award.
Seriously? That is awesome.
It was pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Love that movie.
Yeah. I have a little cameo in that. Have you ever watched that again? When they're standing on Mulholland Drive looking out at Los Angeles with a big destroyer over Los Angeles. I'm the guy standing in front of the camera staring at the destroyer. You'll see the back of my head.
Okay.
So, it was our little hidden joke. Yeah.
That's a tradition. When I was growing up, my dad always wanted to throw on Independence Day on 4th of July.
Oh.
So,
yeah. You have a good laugh next time. Have you ever watched Star Trek? I die in Star Trek 11.
Okay. Yep. My dad's probably seen it. He loves all the Star Trek stuff.
There you go. I am how Bones becomes the chief medical officer, because Spock in the battle, Spock jumps in Kirk's chair and talks to Bones. It was like, you get chief medical officer, period. And Bones is like, chief medical officer, period, died on deck 6. And Spock's like, okay, well, you're chief medical officer now, Bones. You know, whatever. Like, and it was sort of running joke around DreamWorks. We'd written this in the script. So my assistants, when the movie was in post, they changed the plaque on my office door from, you know, Steven Puri, whatever, you know, Chris Mercer. They changed it to say, Dr. Puri, deck 6, Lido. And the joke was, I died on deck 6 in the Enterprise. That was also the shuffleboard deck. That was Lido deck. So I was probably like playing games when the battle was going on.
That's awesome. It's cool that you have like all those memories that other people can tie into a little bit because they've seen this movie or this show.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's definitely fun. I think what I do now is the thing I will tell my kids that I did, because the movies didn't really change the world. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. My 20s and 30s, super fun. But what I'm doing now actually like helps people. Like, you know, what you do with your pod and like, hey man, there's a financial education. There's a way of thinking about, you know, these sort of issues that are an important part of life. But a lot of what I do now is share stuff that I think actually changes people's lives way more than, oh, that's a really fun in-joke in, you know, Transformers 2.
Right. Yeah, definitely. No, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So actually leading into some financial knowledge and things, when you started to make more and more money, how did you start managing it?
Okay, so my dad has a very strong opinion about how all of the retirement accounts should work. So I, 401k from when I was God knows what age, and all that sort of stuff, right? So I started making money. I remember it was probably in my early 20s. I started making more money than my dad. Like my career is going very well.
Okay.
And,
cool.
My dad was like a mid-level engineer at IBM, making good salary, but Hollywood definitely, like, you can make money pretty quickly if you're smart and lucky, which I was at least one, maybe both. So a lot of my early financial education, my dad just saying like, hey, you know what? I immediately want out of your paycheck. Like, let's just take this money off the table so you didn't see it. And let's just invest it. Let's go 401k. Let's have an IRA for you. When Roths came, he was like, this is how you should allocate that. And, my dad's a big fan of just stable stuff, index funds. He's like, over the right, a long enough time period, these investments always go up. So just don't worry about ever selling them. And that's a lot of what I've done. It's a lot of what my wife and I do now,
That's awesome. So your dad kind of was in the up and up about
very strong
money. And,
he loves talking about, grumpy, but man, you get him talking about like finance stuff and he's really engaging.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like I told you, we just had our first child. I have a 12-year-old son, and my dad's like, let me tell you about the 529. And then we have to get the DCFSA set up, and you have to I was like, okay, let me start writing this down.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff you could do with a newborn. And like, even if life insurance is in the picture for you guys, it's so cheap. So cheap for a baby, but by the time that baby is like 18, 21, there's already millions in the policy. So it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. So a lot of people don't actually grow up with any parent that's knowledgeable about money. So I think you were lucky there too.
I am. It is one of the easiest ways to engage with my dad. My dad's not the dad that you talk about football, like he doesn't care about sports.
Okay.
He doesn't care about some new restaurant in town. Like you want to talk to him about a couple weird things. There's certain kinds of fruits he will talk to you endlessly about. At this time in Austin, where can you get the best mangoes, the best pomegranates, or the best, like he knows. He's like, go to Whole Foods, but in May is really when Sprouts has the best mangoes. And you're like, how do you know this? Why do you know this? He's like, I like mangoes.
That's funny. He must be kind of hard to buy for though.
You know what? My wife has a very weird skill in that he is one of the best gift givers I've ever met. And
yeah, I love that.
If
I'm
we ever
pretty good
hang
at
out,
it sometimes, but
I'm just telling you, if we ever hang out, like 2 years later, I'll be like, oh, it's Dayna's birthday. And she'd be like, do you remember that one time she was talking about how she wanted to get into golf? I'm like, I don't remember that. She's like, she did. And she'll think of some like cute little golf gift. And you'll be like, oh, Laura, this is so thoughtful. And I was like thinking about getting golf. And I'm like, that's amazing. So all of that, totally. All the credit goes to Laura. Yeah.
That's cool. It's a rare gift, I think, to be able to buy things for people that are neat or thoughtful and just on point. It's very rare to have a gift like that when it comes
True.
to
True. Across the board.
You have to like work at it. I think if you want to be somewhat good at it, you got to work at it. You got to listen to what people say and remember. It's a rare talent.
Yep.
So, okay, let's get into what you do now. So,
what do I do now? Is it good?
It is good. So you talk to people about their flow state and how to maintain that.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Okay. Now there is a portion of your audience that is like, I am a flow master. I'm in a flow state at all times. And I know there's another portion that's like, I've heard of it. I know it's in the zeitgeist. I don't exactly know what people are talking about, but So if it's fair, why don't we spend 30 seconds just like define this so we're all on the even footing? Is that cool?
Yes, and this will get the woo-woo people maybe more on level with us.
There we go. Okay, so there was a Hungarian-American psychologist, this dude Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and he had a thesis. He said, you talk to high performers in very different disciplines, like athletes and inventors and artists and scientists. And when you talk to them about the concentrated states where they do the thing that makes them famous, the thing that changes the world, they talk about it in very similar ways. He's like, what a weird coincidence. What's up with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Prometheus. It's like, I want to go up, steal some fire from Mount Olympus and bring it down to the rest of us. So he went and did the research. At the end of it, he wrote a book called Flow. It's why we call it a flow state. It's the seminal work on this. And he said the greatest thing. He said, I chose this word because it was the most beautiful metaphor for what I found. We are all on the river, paddling to move ourselves forward. But if you align your boat with the current, it carries you. It magnifies your efforts. He said, that's what these high performers have figured out how to do and how to do it repeatably.
Yes.
So he goes into it in the book. He says, let me tell you kind of what this state, I'm going to call a flow state. And he acknowledged, like Michael Jordan calls it being in the zone. He's like, when I'm in the zone, it's just me and the ball. Picasso had his word for it. Einstein had his word for it. But he's like, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it flow. In this flow state, here are the things, here are the characteristics of it. You lose track of time. You're not staring at the clock. You're just in it.
Mm-hmm.
You do your best work in a compressed amount of time. Like you're one with the work. You're not super self-conscious. He said, distractions fall away. You're not thinking about running to the fridge to grab a snack. You're not thinking about opening Facebook. You're just sort of there. And he said, at the end, you often can feel a sense of uplift, a sense of joy, as opposed to a sense of depletion, like, oh, it's done and I'm dead. It's more of a sense of like, wow, that was cool, right? I will tell you this, to be very honest. The first time I experienced a flow state was before I'd ever heard the term flow state, and I didn't know what happened. I live in Austin, as we talked about. I was on a flight to San Francisco. I was going to see my team the next morning, and I wanted to mock up this idea for a feature. Like just hack it together in Figma, kind of like I'm not a great designer, but enough to say this. Can we build something like this? Get on the flight. Captain's like, hey, Wi-Fi's broken. Sorry, see you in SF, right? So we take off. Maybe 15, 20 minutes later, we start descending. And I think, oh, we're in Dallas. Like something's wrong with the plane. They're going to swap the plane out. They don't want to scare us by telling us in the air what's wrong, but they'll tell us the hydraulic system or whatever. And, I looked down, 2 hours and 40 minutes had gone by.
It's crazy.
I had no idea if the drink cart came by. I couldn't tell you the name of the guy in the seat next to me, but my designs were done and I liked them. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but I had mentally prepared myself for, okay, grab the roller bag, get in the Uber, I'll get a sandwich in the lobby and go up to the hotel room and I'll finish the stuff and pass out tonight, for the meeting. I got in the Uber. I called a buddy of mine and I was like, hey, man, I have a free night at SF. Do you want to have dinner? And it felt awesome to be, for a rare occasion, ahead of my day instead of behind my day. Later, smart friends were like, hey, dude, that was a flow state when you're just like in it. Everything falls away. You kind of like, I was like, why didn't someone tell me about this in my 20s? Like I could have multiplied my efforts. It's such like a force multiplier.
Yeah, definitely.
And if what you're looking for in life is like, how do you change that ratio of input to output to magnify the output? Hello, more people should know about this. So that's why we built the company, the Sukha company, the website that's like a flow state thing, because I was like, that was a cool experience. Why don't more people talk about this? And that's what I do with my life now. I run the Sukha company.
That's really cool. Yeah, isn't
No
that
more
crazy when that
movies.
happens? Good. Yeah. It's funny when you finally realize like, hey, this other thing is way more meaningful and I want to help people with this.
Right? Yeah. And trust
Yeah.
me, like I think about this having a son, and I think, in a year or two, we're going to have a daughter. What's the thing when they're old enough to understand, oh, daddy has a job or daddy had a job? What thing I want them to think of? And I'm telling you, it's not Die Hard 5. It's not the Wolverine. It's not even Star Trek 11, which is not a bad movie. It's this. I want them to think like, oh man, daddy helped people who had something to do that thing, enable them to really perform at a high level. And you're right. Some of the return on that is financial. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you use it to build the company that you get bought out. And you're like, okay, I'm filthy rich now.
Yeah, it'll just come.
Writing a book. Sometimes it's, coding a new feature, but it's just a thing of being like, feeling ahead of your day as opposed to feeling, where'd the day go?
Yeah, everybody has a certain amount of time a day where they're most productive.
Yep.
And if you can figure out what that time of day is, you can get
When
a
are you
lot
most
done.
productive?
I would say between 12 and like 3 o'clock.
So interesting. So the middle of the night.
No, in the daytime. In the daytime. Definitely. Yeah, in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm working too, sleeping to get up and
I know,
work.
I know. I was kidding. So that concept of chronotype, for those playing along at home, chronotype is the idea that you're more adept at certain kinds of things at certain times of day, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that, having that kind of self awareness is kind of cool. The first time I ran into that, I was like early 20s in Hollywood, and there was a well known screenwriter, many stations above me in life, named Ron Bass. And he had written like Rain Man and My Best Friend's Wedding and a bunch of stuff, right? He was known for writing big movie star kind of like roles. And he was famous for not talking to his family in the morning. Like, I'm not the dad who's going to be like, hey, who needs a ride to school? Who wants pancakes?
Yeah.
And he said to them, when I start talking with you, I can't hear my characters' voices in my head anymore. And that's where I get like 1, 2 million a script to
Yeah,
do.
that's fair.
So
That
his
makes
family's like,
sense.
okay, cool. You know what? We can make the pancakes. You go, write the big scripts and pay for all our lives, right?
Yeah.
And he was very aware in the afternoons, he could do collaborative meetings, studio notes, meet other writers, whatever. But he, like you, was very aware of like this time, like 5 to 9, 6 to 10 in the morning
Hmm.
is writing dialogue. Afternoon time is collaboration. I remember thinking, wow, it's amazing someone's that self aware. And again, this is a guy who's a very high performer. He's like, you have to be self aware to operate continuously this way.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to be aware. And I get that, like a lot of people, especially me, because I still work a 9 to 5, if you will.
Yep,
That time is when I'm at work. And it really sucks that you can't lock in during that time
that
because
is
you
true.
have to be somewhere else locking in. But that's another way to think about your work at a job. You're not always locked in the entire time. There's really only probably 2 to 4 maybe hours a day where you're actually doing the work you're getting paid for.
Yep. That is true. And that's a related thought to where I am with this concept of productivity, which is if you really focus, the work that you have to do, the thing that causes change in the world can really be done in a compressed way.
Hmm.
It often sprawls, like Parkinson's law, about like it kind of expands to fill the available time. But if you say, hey, you know what, I need to finish my spreadsheet, write my blog post, do my everything, whatever, I'm going to give it 90 minutes. It's amazing the way you do that. It's one of the principles we really studied about time boxing that is just empirically true. you
Hmm.
know anyway, back to you in the studio. I digress.
Do you ever talk to people about time management as well? Because I kind of feel like
Yeah,
obviously that fits in.
yeah. time
There's
time and
ways to do
energy.
it.
Yeah, and time is valuable because of what the opportunity cost is. Like if the time we spend on this podcast is time that I could spend with my old 12-week-old son, this is precious time. Like I'm not going to waste this time. If we're doing a 6 minute
Hmm.
podcast, I'm going to show up on time, get it done, and then go be with my son, whom I find to be adorable and I want to eat 3 times a day. He's so cute, right?
Yeah.
So the opportunity cost makes this valuable. If I had nothing else in my life, I'd be like, Dayna, let's hang out for half an hour and chat. Then we'll do the podcast. We'll chat some more, and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And that the name of my company, the Sukha company, it's a weird name. I acknowledge that, but it comes from a very related conversation I had, which is when we had a working version, like a beta version of this flow state website, right? Helped you get into flow state. I was talking to Laura, we got married, and we had met in yoga. I married the girl on the yoga mat to my left in Manhattan, right? And so we do yoga every day. It's like a daily part of our life. So when we got married for our honeymoon, we went to Bali because it's a great place to go do yoga all the time and hang out with your
Okay.
new wife, right? So we're
Awesome.
going there. And I said to her, I have thought of every bad name for this website, this web app. flow state app and distraction blocker and they're just terrible descriptive names. I said I aspire to something that's cool. Like Nike's not called like shoe company, like Amazon's not called onlinebookstore.com. And she's like, you know what? Maybe over the next 2 weeks, because no one's going to bug you from the office. They know you're on your honeymoon. Maybe the universe will speak to you. The muses will come and visit. You'll get a great name. And I was like, okay, cool. So we got there, checked into the hotel. And I said to her, you know what? I was thinking about what you said. I think you're right. Something that might be a really great seed for my imagination is, do you mind today if I talk to a couple of our beta users and just ask them, like, what's your favorite thing about what we're doing? And maybe that grows over the next 2 weeks into a great name or concept. She was like, I'm going to the pool, but I will see you at dinner, enjoy. So I went. 3 people sit to chat with me. And very simple. Hey, thank you so much for taking 10 minutes. What's your favorite feature? Do you love the music, the flow music? Do you love the timers? Do you love the smart assistant that keeps you off your phone stuff? Third guy, I was going into the wrap up where I'm like, hey, I want to respect your time. We're at 8 minutes. I said 10 minutes. Let's, say our goodbyes. And the guy said to me, Steven, you asked the wrong questions. I'm like, okay, dude, that I do not know that well. Like, I'll take the bait. Like, what was the right question? He said, you should have asked me why I pay you. And I was like, we don't charge that much. Like, okay, well, why do you pay me? He said, the past year, I find I have 2 kinds of days. At 3 o'clock, am playing with my kids. They're 2 and 4 right now.
Okay.
Or at 6 o'clock, I'm like, where did the day go? I was busy all day. Maybe I'll get up early tomorrow and try and finish it. He said, I realized the difference is, did I hit play in your website before I started work that morning? So I pay you because my kids are not going to be 2 and 4 forever. Okay. And I was like,
true.
Wow, you won that round. Okay, that was a way better question answer than what I was going for. Thank you. So I tell this to Laura at dinner. She's like, that dude is more articulate than you are about what you do. And I was like, yeah, I know. I wear that now. But we're going to bed. Like cute little honeymooners. And you're engaged, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is our first night of our little, honeymoon. Little spa robes on, thinking we're all cute, brushing our little teeth in bed. And Laura looks at me with a mouthful of toothpaste. She goes, you wanted the universe to speak to you and give you a great name. That guy, the universe spoke to you through that guy. We were in yoga and we hear all these Sanskrit terms for, your karma and your prana, your life force and your dharma. She's like, he described to you Sukha, that feeling when you're in your lane doing something you're good at. So you're in control of it. You can do it with ease. He's just telling you he wants to be with his kid. He wants to be in control of his day. So at 3 o'clock, he's doing the thing he wants to do, which is play with his kids. She's like, you should call it the Sukha company, the happiness company. I'm going to bed. And I was like, okay. And I looked on my phone. The Sukha company oddly was available for $14 and I bought it. I was like, done.
Nice.
And that's why we called it that, because she's right. Ultimately, what I was reaching for is not, work faster, work better, be distracted less. More, get in control of your day. Have that feeling of like, I'm ahead of my day, not behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to, like, people, I know your audience, like some of them are doing the hustle, some are doing a day hustle and a side hustle and like trying to figure out, like, ultimately time is a premium. So if you use it really well, you have a better chance of winning.
Yes. So recently I'm kind of have a story to relate. Super duper recently, I asked my work if they could help me out for the next 2 months and schedule me to open so I can get off early most days of the week. Yeah, I still made a compromise. I can still close like Friday, Saturdays, busy days, but yeah, for 5 days a week, I'm getting off early. I do have 2 days off, but therefore I can study for this financial license that I'm trying to go for. So
there you go.
I'm trying to make it fit in with my work, and they actually are helping me out because I saw the first schedule for the first week of February and I'm getting off by like 6:30. I'm like, okay, I could do that. That's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah, so I actually started studying this morning because I'm off today, and ChatGPT is an amazing thing, I will tell you.
It's true. It is.
It really,
LLMs are really valuable. If you use them well,
oh my
they're very
God.
valuable.
Yeah. And there's tons of people who are like, you shouldn't use ChatGPT, just like Google. It's like, I don't care. Like, however it helps me, it's
Don't
helping
try
me.
and LLM shame me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna use it like Google because it explains everything so much better
Yeah,
in
yeah.
depth. And
And
at
then
the
eventually
end,
you can extend it beyond, search kind of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
in
super
the
helpful.
end,
Agreed.
sure. I
Yeah.
have used it to like make a brochure or just like some sort of like questionnaire form for my clients and stuff before, which is cool, but it's probably still using it like Google. I don't care. It's
Doesn't matter.
like,
I'm not even here. This is actually a generative AI version of me. I'm napping right now.
yeah, you're napping. Yeah. But yeah, so with the time management, that's kind of what I've worked in right now to help me
Yeah.
with this license. Because once I get this license, like everything will change once I can talk to people about this financial tool that I have, and I'm learning more about it every single week as well. So it's just, I have bigger goals than working this stupid 9 to 5, where I
So
feel like I'm not helping somebody, but with the financial services stuff, it's gonna be helping people
I
with
totally agree.
meaningful things.
So let me ask you this. When you do have that time to focus,
Mhm.
what are the impediments? What are the distractions when you're working and focusing? What pulls you out?
Mm, right now, it's probably my stepson that lives with
Okay.
us.
Yep.
He's 14 and very chatty.
Oh my
So,
God. Okay.
yeah, he wants to tell me about school, about this girl he likes, blah, 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 blah,
Oh.
blah.
Oh.
Yeah, but luckily we got him some video games, like a whole PS4 Pro for Christmas. So he's doing that after school because they really don't give homework. So I'm like, all right, well, if you don't have
Really?
homework, yeah,
Huh.
really. It's weird. I
That's
was,
a
I never
change.
had a life as a kid. I had to do
I
homework for
know.
almost every single subject. I had never had time to do anything.
How did I miss? When did that change that homework was not a thing? Did I miss a memo?
Well, we're in Reno where the schools are ranked 50 in the nation. So,
Okay, gotcha. Noted.
and I can kind of see why.
So you're just happy he's not in jail,
Yeah, I'm totally happy he's not in jail. He's yeah, we bought him a guitar also from his new grandma. My mom bought him a guitar. So he's like
okay.
totally into that. He's playing video games, talking to his friends. Totally cool. He's learning how to
Fair
cook
enough.
here because his dad's a chef. So yeah. So it's been fun. He's been living with us for about 2 months now. Yeah.
Okay. Good
So,
luck
but
with that.
thank you.
Anything else that's distracting, or is it mainly the 14-year-old?
I would say, well, the dogs too. We do have a puppy.
Right?
So they're a bit distracting, especially when they're warring with each other. But
You have a lot to contend with.
yeah, luckily there's a door on this room though. I have my own office now in this house. So the door is shut right now. That's how I keep everybody out. And I have a
That is
sign
great.
now. I put a sign on the door the other day. It's got like a stop sign hand on it. And
Yep.
it says, I am currently, and then it's got four things like on a recording, on a call, studying, or doing this. And so I have a little like bookmark type thing that's,
That's great. I'm glad it is
yep.
effective.
Yeah. So, and that's mainly for the 14-year-old, like, leave me alone.
I assume it's not for the dogs, but if it
Not
were
for
for
the
the dogs,
dogs.
that would be kind of a great story.
Yes. Yeah, if they could read. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say those are probably the two big distractions and also cooking dinner.
So interesting. When I talk to live audiences, and I always poll them, like, what are your distractions? Phone always comes up number one.
Oh, I put that on Do Not Disturb.
Smart,
So,
super
yeah.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm done with that. Even if it's like, even if nobody's trying to talk to me, it's just the notifications. Like, I can see them pop up in my line of sight, and I'm just like constantly looking at them. Like, this is
Yeah.
annoying. So I
What is
just put
it? What
on
is
Do
it?
Not Disturb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well played.
yeah, I have been working on my discipline over the last 5 years, I would say. So when I say that I need to study something, I'm gonna study something.
I love that.
Yeah, and because it's only 2 months, my work's only going to help me out for 2 months. I'm not going to take advantage of that. I don't want
Yep.
to ask more than, they're okay with.
Yes.
So, whatever. I do want to keep my job until I actually want to fire them myself.
We're done here.
Yeah. So, but Let's see. So you say that you have a community of over 34,000 productivity minded people.
Productivity minded, which is a very general word, right?
It is,
Like
I guess.
some people are more successful than others.
Yeah. But what challenges do you see come up the most often with these people? Is it time?
It's yes. I know you wanted to talk about time management. There is definitely an aspect of how do I set aside like time block. And this is also something when like team leaders reach out to me. Sometimes I will get the, hey, I'm an engineering manager at XYZ company, and four of my guys use your thing. And I'm trying, what is it? And should I get a
Mm,
site license for everyone? Like what? Right. And that conversation usually is about, hey, let me tell you some great practices in terms of allowing people to do deep work. And then if you choose that our tool is helpful, great, but at least you have some ideas, right? Because if no one walked into their stand up or their staff meeting and said, hey, this is what I did yesterday, this is what I'm doing today. I'm not blocked. And like, the company won. No one's like, oh, inbox zero and I returned all my Slack messages. And they're like, oh, yeah, we just made $1 billion. You know what I mean? Companies win because someone walks into the staff meeting and they're like, yesterday I looked out the window for 2 hours and I thought deeply about what our competitor just launched. And I was thinking, here's what we could build. And then everyone in the meeting kind of like pivots their head and goes, we should leave the meeting right now and go build that. Like that changes the trajectory of our company way more than all my Slack messages are returned. And
hmm
if you encourage, as Cal Newport would say, shallow work, hey, get your TPS reports in Friday at 10, like then you run a company that's just about busy work, about stupid stuff. Like what you want is you want people to be able to go deep and say, hey man, I had a thought that kind of changes things. And sometimes they're wrong, sometimes they're right though, right?
hmm
And so that's what I impress upon usually leaders a bunch is saying, like, hey, if that's what you want to encourage in your culture, there are some things you can do to help. Number one, there's a lot of research on flow states that if you want to get into a flow state, you don't just snap your fingers. You're like, I'm in flow. I'm deeply in this thing. It takes 15 to 23 minutes on average to drop in for your brain to get there where you're sort of deeply in it. And if you get interrupted, it takes another 15 to 23 to get back. What does that mean? It means
hmm
you kind of need to agree with your team on some times where you're not going to bug each other, right? Hey, guess
Yeah.
what? Let's have, deep work time, flow time, focus time, Friday 9 to 11. Don't anybody set client meetings in the middle of that. Don't Slack each other like, hey, could you send me that notes from yesterday's meeting? Leave everyone alone for like an hour or two. And who knows, sometimes I'm like, try this for a week or two. Some of it will turn into nothing, but you may get one or two of those ideas where you're like, that's huge because it's more than the shallow work, right? So
Yeah.
that idea around time blocking, which I know you wanted to talk about time management, like that's something you can exercise as your self-discipline, saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to treat from 7 to 9 every morning is the time I write my book. I create the business plan for another thing. I work on my restaurant concept. I write my script, whatever that thing is, right? Or you can, as a leader of a team, say, hey, deep work is an important part of our winning. Let's set aside time to do that. And then within that time, yes, there are many tools. Like, Mihai talks about blocking distractions and all that. I make one. There are a lot of great tools out there. There's like cold turkey and freedom. And, if websites get you, you can block a website. There are ways to lock your phone or brick your phone or something. Like you put your on do not disturb. There are a bunch of ways to do that. We have one way to do it, which is when you start your session as a QR code, you can tap with your phone. If you touch your phone while you're working, your smart assistant in your laptop says, hey, I see you on your phone. Is that helping? And then as an
hmm
adult, you get to just choose to put down your phone or waste your time, right?
Yep.
And it's hard because when you think about the in the United States, if you look at the stock market, like the highest market cap companies, the $1 trillion companies, most of their business models is steal your life. Period.
Yeah.
Full stop.
It's
That is their
crazy.
business.
hmm
They do not want you spending time creating your own wealth, building your business, writing your book, starting your restaurant, creating an app.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to end up 80 years old on the sofa, scrolling,
Yeah.
double tapping, and telling people about how, oh, you could have written that book. You just got busy. Oh yeah, you had that idea for a restaurant. Oh yeah. No one cares. It's
Yeah.
like you
That's
wasted
the
your life.
truth.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's how Mark Zuckerberg has a 450-foot yacht and you don't, because he monetizes that. It sounds like a joke, but it's as if Mark were to call you up and go, Dana, listen, I want your life. I'm going to sell it to these advertisers and I'll keep the money. But I'm going to give you some dancing cat videos. Is that
Yeah.
cool? Can I
Mm-hmm.
have your life? A lot of people say yes because it's so beautifully tuned. Like you said with the phone, every vibration, every pixel of color, every sound has been A B tested a billion times to be as addictive as possible. There's a reason that the social media and the tech companies hire people who design casinos, design gambling to participate in the design of that.
Yes.
And that's a huge bar when you're like, I'm in a tug of war for my life to actually do something. And on one side of the rope, there are $1 trillion companies hiring the smartest people on earth. And on the other side of the rope, it's you
Mm-hmm.
alone trying to, build your financial future, trying to write the book, trying to create the thing. You
Yeah.
got to have allies. You have to have tools. So that is where we come in. That's where a lot of great companies come in to go, when you're ready to actually do something with your life, not end up 80 years old talking about how you could have, we're here.
Yes. Yeah. And they just teach you how to be comfortable with
Yeah,
your life.
exactly.
It's and they keep you there and you like it.
Spot on.
Yeah, it's actually scary. I've never looked at it like that, but you're completely right. Like that's really how it is.
Yeah.
It's scary. A lot of people fall
And
for
it is
it.
easy to slide down that slippery, warm slope into I gave my life over to watching ads on, like, okay, my dad has had 3 friends die of lung cancer.
Oh wow.
He's got heart issues. And I talked to him, he smoked for 37 years. I'm like, how could you do that to yourself? And he's like, you don't understand. When I was coming up, like movie stars were smoking, tobacco companies were putting out studies on how tobacco was healthy for you. He's like, you don't
That's
understand. It was a
crazy.
different time. And I sure hope that my son and my eventual daughter, they have that conversation with me where they're like, how would you guys waste your life watching like Kim Kardashian's ad for her underwear for 20 minutes like it was content? Like you learn, how could you waste your
Hmm.
life doing that stuff? And we're like, you don't understand. All the stars were doing it. The social media
Yeah.
companies were putting out studies and how social media was great for connecting with other people. And,
Hmm.
it's big tobacco all over again. It's the exact same playbook.
Yeah, definitely. And did you know a lot more people, especially like the millennials, they are not really drinking as much these
Good. I
days.
don't drink. I quit drinking a
I
couple years
quit
ago.
drinking. Yep, I quit drinking a little bit over a year ago
How do you feel?
now. Great. I love not being hungover. It's amazing. Like
Totally
I
with you.
love it.
Yep.
It's the best. I should have stopped a long time ago, but I'm glad I stopped when I did, and
Yep.
I love it. And I've had like a couple sips here and there, but it's like weird to even swallow
Yeah.
it. It's weird.
I agree. It's not like I have religion about it, where it's like if I go over to your house and your fiance opens a great bottle of wine he loves, I'm not going to be the dick who's like, I can't have any of that. I'll have a glass of wine social with you.
Yeah.
But I did ayahuasca a couple of years ago, and like the second time I did it, I just lost the taste for alcohol. It like doesn't. I don't think about like, oh, I really want to have a drink tonight. Oh, let's go out and have a drink with friends. It
Hmm.
has no appeal to me. You know, it's weird. It
Yeah.
just changed. And you're right. You do have a clarity of thought that you don't have when you're hungover 2 days a week.
Yeah, it's great. And the brain fog is
Yep,
pretty much gone.
it's pretty
It's
great.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's refreshing, that's for sure. And
just saying. A
yeah,
lot of
so
little things
it's
you learn.
a lot of
Man,
things
if
you
you could go
learn.
back and talk to your 21-year-old self, the
Oh,
stuff you would say, you're like,
I
write this
know.
down.
It's crazy. But like a lot of those alcohol companies, they're aiming for I mean, they make tons of money with
Yeah,
their advertising, their marketing, and that's why everybody knows Jameson, or that's why everybody knows Bullet, and
correct
it's
that.
their marketing is great, and it targets the people they want to target, and
Yep.
but at the end of the day, they just want you to be alcoholics. So,
There it is,
yep,
and I imagine your audience, people listen to you because they do have something they want to create in their life. They're not
yes.
here because it's like, oh, hey, it's the Alcoholic Podcast. They're here because it's like, I want to learn how to manage my financial life and actually have a better future.
Hmm.
And that takes discipline.
It does. And it's hard to create discipline. You just have to make it happen if you want to do something in your life.
If discipline were easy, everyone would be doing it.
Yes, definitely. And
Yeah.
it's still hard, even though I've been working on it for the past 5 years. It's
Yep.
super hard, but you got to just lock in
Yep.
whenever you can.
True.
Even if you can't, I guess I should say.
Right. Yeah, I think we all know what you meant. Yes.
What advice would you give somebody who struggles with structure or motivation?
Oh, absolutely. There's one thing I'll say more than anything that's like, hey, go buy this thing, do this thing, whatever it is. One thing I'll tell you, if you can incorporate this into your life will change. In the morning, before you open up your phone to start scrolling your messages, before you make breakfast, before you jump in the shower, first thing in the morning, decide what is the one thing you can do today that will move your life forward. And I said one thing, not five, not 10, because you're not going to do 10. You'll just get disappointed. What is one thing and move your life forward? And it's actually be, oh, you know what? Yes, I need to pick up the kids from school or I need to do whatever and do my laundry. Blah, blah, blah. But if I write that chapter of the book, that brings me closer to going to publishers and actually writing and becoming a real author, not a wannabe author. Oh,
Hmm.
if I finish that business plan, it allows me to start going out and raising money. Oh, if I, you know what I mean? It's like it
Yeah.
moves your life forward and it's something you can get done today. It's not write my book. You're not going to write the book today, but you sure could outline chapter 3, or you sure could work on the revenue part of your projections, or you know what I mean? Like, what is the one
Hmm.
thing you could do today that'll move your life forward? And before you go to bed, make sure you do that. If you do that repeatedly, it is that 1% compounding thing. It's just astounding how your life is different after a month, 6 months, a year.
I agree. That is really good. I do you know who Ed Milet is?
I don't, I'm sure I should, but I don't.
So he always just talks about time management and entrepreneurial stuff,
Okay.
mindset, all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. He's awesome. But he's a very avid believer in not touching your phone as soon as you wake up
Yeah.
for probably 30 minutes or more.
I love
And
that.
I really try and not to ever do that.
That's
It's,
fantastic.
yeah, it's usually on Do Not Disturb, at least until I'm done with the shower and like starting to cook breakfast.
That is
So,
great. Yeah.
yeah, because there's just stressors and just stupid stuff you don't need to cloud your mind with right away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
full
really
of that.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
because, they make a ton of money for doing that on purpose to you. So,
Spot on.
yep. So, I mean, why let that win? And like you said, is I think it's a very good thing to think of at least one small thing you can get done to move your life in the direction you want it to go. Because we're all capable, everybody listening, we're all capable of shaping our own futures. You
Right?
don't have to let other people shape your future because, hey, that's your lineage, that's where you came from, that's BS. You don't have to let anybody shape your future. You do it.
Yeah. And you don't have to have your past shape your future. We all have varying levels of problems in the past, and we can choose how much of those we pull into the future.
Hmm. I know a lot of people who are always saying, like, I'm going to be the one in my family who changes this or who stops this cycle. So it's you got to surround your people like that. You
This
got
is
to
good
be around more
advice.
people.
Good
Yeah.
advice. I hope people are listening to you.
Yeah, it takes a lot to find the right group of people
Hmm?
sometimes, and it takes a lot to cut the wrong ones off, but it's super important that you do that. Um, yeah. So tell me a story about when you had to cut somebody off in your life.
Oh, I mean, probably one of the big ones was just Fox. Like,
Mm.
I hated being there. I was locked into a contract,
Ugh,
and my boss hated me. Like, there was no
that sucks.
illusion of, hey, we love you. Why don't you want to stay here? There was, man, I could have stayed at DreamWorks. In
Mm.
hindsight, the allure of Die Hard was what brought me here, but I don't really dig the people. I don't dig the value system here. I don't see myself staying here long term. And it was frustrating because at a certain point, I had an offer from Warner Brothers, and somehow my boss found out about it and extended my contract at Fox just as an FU, which
Without your consent?
there was a one sided option to renew for another year.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh my
I didn't
God.
go into this contract thinking like, oh no, I want to be able to get out of this contract. I was like, oh yeah, sure, absolutely. We want to do this another year. That'd be great. This would be super fun. Then after being there, I was like, you have to be kidding. Why would I possibly? Why would you do this? And I realized the reason was didn't want me to go to Warner Brothers and then be successful there and look like, oh, there's
That's
something
so
wrong
messed
at
up.
Fox. It was just kind of a no, would rather pay you to waste a year of your life here than have you go be successful somewhere else. And man, that sucked when I was talking to the president of Fox. I was like, I have bad news. Like, I can't come. Uh, my contract got renewed, I think, out of spite, not out of wanting me here, but out of spite. And I mean, there are
Oh
worse
my
things being
God.
paid a bunch of money to just sit around for a year, but your life is more precious than that cash. And that for me was the moment where I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm breaking up. I'm getting out of film, period. Just leaving because I didn't have a non compete outside of entertainment. And that's when I was
Mm,
like, the other thing I know how to do is engineering. Maybe I can find problems that I can solve with engineering. And that, has led to helping people get into a flow state and doing something with their lives, probably more valuable than making Die Hard 19.
yeah. Wow. That's everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Out of spite stuff. Like just it's literally everywhere. That's
Oh, yeah. A lot of things you learn along the way. Mistakes I made. I definitely think about how not to repeat some of the things, you know, dumb things I've done, like having a one-sided option. Didn't contemplate that I would hate it there, and then they would want to keep me. I figured that's fine. Leave it in the contract.
that's insane.
Yep. Yep. Welcome to entertainment.
Yeah, well, welcome to pretty much any workplace.
Yeah.
My
Yeah. Pretty dark.
God, that
Pretty dark.
sucks. Yeah,
I
it's
know. Let's
really
end on an up note. What is a happy thing you want to talk about?
happy thing. Um, happy thing. Well, a lot of good things have been happening in my personal life. Like last
When's the
year,
wedding?
the wedding is October 24th this year.
Okay.
Yes,
Gotcha.
in town here. It's going to be super awesome. I'm super
Very cool.
excited.
What should I wear?
I know, right? Burgundy.
I have this little off the shoulder number. It's really lovely.
Really cute.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying. So, but whatever you want.
Yeah, so my mom and I are planning it. And there's going to be about maybe 60 people, if not a
Hmm.
little bit less there, but kind of a
Yep.
smaller thing, which is awesome. And our venue is actually very affordable.
Great.
We did tour like, the Hyatt up in Tahoe. Yeah, we did all the tours,
Yeah.
but they were cool and everything, but there was something about them where yes, of course they were like really super duper expensive, but
Yep.
there was something about them where we were just like, can't really
Not your
there's
vibe.
no, not really. I mean, it was nice
Yeah.
and elegant, but like no. Can't
Yeah.
see a lot of people here for this. Yeah. So we chose somewhere super close to home and it's like right down in town here in Reno. So super excited. We're just kind of getting the details and the coordinators set up. And I think we have a photographer almost locked in. And I don't know. We're just really looking forward to it. We're almost like, why do we push it out till October? We just want to be married now, but
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's gonna be
Um,
sweet, the moments of anticipation.
yes, yes, it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited. So, thanks for asking.
Absolutely.
How long have you been married?
Uh, in April it will be 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats, congrats.
Yep. And that's been great. And even having our son has just made us even closer than we were before. Is I didn't know that there was more love that I had to feel for Laura, and having our son together, like it's really been surprising to me how much I feel, like how much emotion I feel.
That's really cool. Good to
Yeah.
know, good to know, because we are planning on kids.
There you go.
Um,
14-year-old is
I've,
not enough.
yeah, no, I mean, no, there are still babies to have. So,
That's awesome.
um, you keep saying that you're gonna have a daughter next.
Yeah. In fall of 27.
Okay, so she's pregnant already? No?
No, no, no. We have some frozen embryos.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
How cool.
So we have three that are 5 day old. They're called blastocysts that are
What?
female. We have
Oh, wow.
five male blastocysts that are
Okay.
euploid, which means they have the right number of chromosomes, and three female. So we'll choose one of those.
Oh, wow.
And hashtag science.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, okay. So that's why you're very confident in, yes, it's going to be a girl.
Yes, we happen to know these embryos are girls, unless someone slips up and we're like, surprise.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
funny. Well, I've been telling him that we are going to have a girl first.
Okay,
Yes.
because you can just will it to be so.
I've kind of if we don't, I'm going to be very surprised. But I've kind of known this for a long time.
Okay.
And I swear I had a whisper in my ear that you're going to get your girl. So we will see.
Do you hear a lot of voices in your ear?
No, no. I'm very like intuitional though.
Okay.
So I think that's
I
what
now I
that
can't wait
was.
to find out. Next year we got to touch base. I want to know.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to see the ultrasound. You're like, I have a girl. Look.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that's what's gonna happen. I already got the name picked out. So,
That's cool. I won't ask, but the right moment, be exciting to
hmm.
find out.
Yeah, definitely.
Does he know the name? Has he agreed to the name?
He likes the name, but I think he has known
He likes the name
somebody.
is not the same as yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's agreed to it only because I like it a lot.
Okay.
Um, and I've always tried to pick a name that we haven't known the person with that name before. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
Everyone knows Princess Leia, though. That's not a new name.
yes, exactly. Um, but I've never known somebody with this name, and
Okay.
he said, I guess maybe like when he was really young, he knew somebody with that name. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that counts. So,
So it's an old name. Is it Edna?
no,
Edith?
absolutely not. Nope, nope. None of
Myrtle?
those. Nope, no Thelma,
No,
no
Thelma. Okay,
Louise,
gotcha.
no.
Next guess. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cute little name and yeah.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah. And then we're thinking about the boy name, just in case
Yep.
he comes first, but he's definitely going to come second.
Oh, understood. Now I heard how serious you are about this, and respect. Got it.
Yes. So, but yes, that's what's going on.
That's amazing. Well, that is a very good high note to end on. I will be excited to hear about little secret name girl that arrives next year.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And your girl, do you already have a name picked out?
We do, as a matter of fact.
Okay. You don't have to share it, but if you don't want to.
I I can share it. Her
Okay.
name is Satya, which is Sanskrit for truth.
Oh, Satya.
Yep.
I like that. And what's your son's name?
Satish,
Satish.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is
Is what?
Sanskrit for like Lord of Truth.
Okay. How cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Nice names, nice names.
Yeah. So it'll be a big year next year.
Yes, ever since I met my fiance, like it's been a big big year. Big things happening. My parents got us this house, and
Cool.
just yeah, that never would have happened if I didn't meet him, I think.
There
Yeah.
you go. I'm
So,
glad things are working out that way.
yeah, me too. It's finally happening. And finally, I've become in the mindset where I feel like I deserve to be a part of financial services. I don't know
Hmm.
why it took 5 years. I don't know what it was, but just
But here
something
you are now.
finally clicked. Yeah, so I'm studying for this license that I want. I'm gonna do it. I'm getting it. At least by the end of March, I'm gonna get it.
That is great.
So
I wish you great success with that.
thank you. Thank you. Flow
Thank
state.
you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. That was an awesome conversation.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks to everyone who listened. Bye, y'all.
Yes, thank you. And we will be back next week for a new episode. Great. Well, have a great day and say hi to your wife for me.
That's super fun. I will. I'm going to go say hi to the little rascal.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Well, have a
Have fun
great
in
day.
Reno.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
one.
Bye.
Bye. Please like, review, share, and subscribe to this podcast and follow us on Instagram at GetSmartWMoney Podcast, as well as checking out our website at GetSmartWithMoneyPodcast.com.